Hi everyone, this is Vivi Cameron, and today I'm going to be trying and sharing about Arteza Expert color pencils. Okay, you might need very strong fingers to take these plastic trays out of that metal tin. But apart from that, these pencils are looking pretty awesome. So there are 120 color pencils inside that box. All are different colors, included metallics. It seems that these color pencils are the best quality you can get in the market at the lowest price. And they don't look or feel cheap at all. You can easily identify the color of each pencil because the color of the pencil bottle is the same of the pencil core. And of course, when you apply the pencils on paper, the colors might not look exactly the same as in the bottle, but this is a very good visual aid. You will also find on each pencil the color name, the color code, and 1, 2, or 3 clues, symbols, or stars. And these are the light fastness rating. This means that the pigments of these pencils has been tested to see how endurable or resistant to fading they are when exposed to light or factors such as humidity. None of these pencils has less than 3 stars. And although the pigments of these pencils have been made to last, and some of these pencils pigments might last well over 100 years, they also got the AP certification. This means that these pencils are not toxic, that anything they put there to make this pencil last that much is not harmful to the environment and to humans. They also got the FSC certification because the body of these pencils is 100% wood from well-managed forest. I'm really loving Arteza proposal because they are offering high quality products at the best price. You can get a set of 48 colors for under £20, or you can also get all the colors in the Arteza range in this set here for under £60. I have a 10% discount code for you if you want to use it. So this could be an extra little help for you in case that you want to get some of these sets. Please find the code and the links to the Arteza shops in the video description. I don't have the code in this very moment, but I will have it when this video goes live. I also would like to invite you to check reviews and see what other people is saying about these color pencils. And before showing you the pencils in action, I also want to show you this amazing pencil case that is available in 2 different designs. I got this one, and I love this kind of storage solutions because they help me to keep organized and to easily identify colors or to reach each color when I needed to. This pencil case has 64 elastic slots that could hold up to 205 color pencils. I decided to organize the pencils here as in the color chart behind this metal box. And I even had fun organizing this case because I could see how many purples, how many blues, how many browns and greens and pinks and reds and yellow colors I have now. So now let's talk about paper. And when I was contacted by Arteza, I asked them if they have a paper they will recommend to use with the pencils. And they say yes, and they send me these sketchbooks. This is gorgeous. The paper is designed to use with dry media and is 180 grams. When you touch it, it has a little bit of texture. And because I'm a stamper, I might need a stamping platform to perfectly stamp an image on this kind of paper. I made a little text here, and of course I didn't prime the stamp, so it's not totally fair with the ink, but when I stamped this image here, the image didn't transfer perfectly. I then swapped the ink for this one, which is an ink to work with watercolors, and then the ink performed a little bit better. At this stage, I only was testing the paper for stamping. I wasn't doing anything special there. And because I didn't want to tear a sheet of this paper from the book and damage it, I didn't use the paper for the samples I'm going to be showing you today, but I wanted to try color pencil blending solutions on the ink and on the paper, and to see how it saturates the paper and how the colors display on the paper. So just because I didn't want to tear this book apart, I used other papers. So today I'm going to be using different quality and color papers. But all these papers have something in common, is that they have a smooth surface. You can also use the color pencils on texture paper, but today I'm just in the mood of using something smooth. And maybe you will be wondering there why you have to watch all these if you just want to watch something about Arteza color pencils. And well, I'm a stamper and I don't do any drawing, so I use stamps. And this device here is called a stamping platform, and it has been designed to allow stampers to stamp over and over in the same spot, the same image, so that you can achieve a very crisp stamped image and you minimize the mistakes. Sometimes when you are stamping, you can partially stamp an image and then you will spoil your paper or your artwork. I also want to add that you can get paper designed for stamping, and that paper absorb and grab the ink in a different way, a lot quicker. However, I didn't use that one today, and probably if I use that one, I will also use the stamping platform. The paper I'm using there is BRISTOL smooth paper. This is one of my favorite papers, but you can use any paper you might like. I also stamped the image on this piece of paper here to create a mask, and this will cover that stamped image and it will allow me to stamp other image over. This technique is called masking. It's super easy and you can apply this on many different materials, not only paper. And this is the way stampers build up scenes using individual images in a stamp set. I'm also going to do some heat embossing. So for this technique, you might need to apply an anti-static powder over the cardstock. And we are going to stamp the image using clear ink. This ink is very sticky. Then I'm going to sprinkle embossing powder over the image, and the powder is going to stick to the ink. This powder is made out of plastic. So when we heat it up, it melts and it achieves a beautiful detail on the paper. Anyone can do this. I'm using a craft heat tool. This is not a hair dryer. And you can also use masking and then heat emboss to create these heat embossed compositions. You can stamp and heat emboss as many images as you want. Sometimes you might be able to stamp one image at a time, sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes the whole background. I find myself trying many different ways to overlay images. Even when they look similar, they all might be slightly different. It really doesn't matter as long as you have something to color, something to enjoy, and I really like the way this turned out. And this stamp set is just beautiful. It's called Wallpaper Art by Altenew. This is just one of many stamping companies that offers quality artwork. I'm going to list in the video description a couple of shops where you can get the most gorgeous stamp sets, and you will be able to get any kind of images or patterns. So another thing because I love stamping is because I don't need to be worried about printing or fitting watercolor paper in my printer or thick cardstock. I also can stamp on fabric, on wood, glass or plastic, and I don't need to worry about learning any software to edit images. In this way, the possibilities are endless. Everything is done manually and with a very simple technique. Then you have to consider what kind of inks you might need to stamp different materials, and even more important is what kind of ink you might need to use when you are using different mediums. To use a dry media has color pencils, you can use any ink in the universe. If you are going to apply solvents or blending solutions to blend the colors or the pigments of these pencils, you might need to consider what kind of ink you are going to be using. To make it simple, I would recommend to use any Memento ink color or any water-based ink, such as distress inks. Okay, finally, let's do some coloring. So I will advise to grab a couple of colors that you might want to add to your image. These pencil colors comes pre-sharpened, but you might need to sharpen them more. So that's the first thing I'm going to do before anything. And the first thing I'm going to do is to apply a technique called layering. And as you might imagine, this is about layering colors. So I'm going to apply a first layer of color, and here I'm applying a dark purple, and I'm applying very little pressure. So if you see there, this is looking very soft and light. Then I'm going to go with a second layer of the same color, and then the color is going to intensify. That's it. That was very quick. Then I'm going to apply another layer of color, and as you can see there, these colors are very vibrant. They are just beautiful. The pencil is gliding over the paper with ease. To keep the pencil tip sharp, I just rotate the pencil as I go, and in that way it doesn't wear off just in one side. I just keep it pointy. Okay, so now I'm going to use a lighter color just to see how this works and if that color is going to be able to kind of soften the other brighter colors or darker colors underneath. And this is working really, really nice. And I'm not blending anything here because the color pencils doesn't blend, because this is a dry media. You can layer different color pencils to create new shades of color, but you cannot blend them. And you build up the color as you go. I'm also leaving some white spots on my image there, and I'm applying very little color on those areas. And I'm going to apply another layer of color, and this time I'm using a red color pencil. And I really think that this color is going to help me to add vibrancy and contrast. Once I finish layering the colors, I can do different things. The first thing I can do is actually doing nothing. Just leave it as it is. You can use a paper blender stump to blend the color pencils just dry. You don't need anything else. Or you can also use a blending solution. And I'm going to use here this Spectrum Noir blending solution. All I do is to dip the stump in the solution, and I just apply that directly on the paper to blend the colors as you see there. Now we are blending the colors. We are not layering colors anymore. We are actually blending them. And this works just fine. Anyone can do this. It's simple. So I'm going to repeat the same process with all my petals. I'm going to speed the camera here because I don't really think that you need to see this over and over. I do exactly the same thing all the way along, okay? I wanted to try different ways to blend these Arteza color pencils. And I'm also using here this colorless Copic marker blender pen. This is alcohol based. So although I'm not crazy about it, it really works as well. And if that's all you got, you can use it as well with your Arteza color pencils. You can also use nail polish remover. A blending solution I will highly recommend to use is baby oil. You might have it at home, but that day when I was filming this video, I could not find it and I didn't want to spend the time to go 10 miles away to go and buy a bottle of baby oil. I just wanted to enjoy coloring and using what I have in that moment. But I know that the baby oil is just amazing. So the top blending solutions for me to use with the pencils are any color pencil blending solution, as this one I'm using here, or baby oil. And another thing you can do is to layer as much color as you want. I also apply a technique called burnishing. Burnishing is when you apply a little bit more of pressure on the color pencils, and this will press the wax and the pigments all together, creating a glossy finish. But this also fills the tooth of the paper with the color, so the colors are going to look smooth and more vibrant. And to burnish, you can use the lightest shades of colors you are using in your artwork or white. And now I also want to show you, if you forget to leave some white spaces on your image, you can also use an eraser like I'm doing there to get the whites back. Don't worry about the white areas, you can also apply them after by using an eraser. And to soften them, then you can add white color pencil over. You can also add shadows using purple, black, or a dark blue color. You can use a white paint marker to add accents and to rescue some of those details that you might not be able to get with the color pencils. I was also saving the pencil shavings because I wanted to show you something I have done always and since I was at school, and is to blend the pencil shavings with the blending solution. This could be baby oil as well. And then with a sponge, I mash those pencil shavings against the glass mat or a non-porous surface, and I just make sure to mash that down and try to get some pigment out of those pencil shavings to use to add soft layers of colors into an image or a background or whatever I want. And I use it as stencil there, but of course you don't need to do this. You can apply this on a large area or a small tiny area every time you need to apply smooth and soft colors. And by doing this, you will always get a super light layer of color. But I'm surprised that these Arteza color pencils are very pigmented. I have another video and you can compare. Of course, in that video, I'm using baby oil to blend the pencil shavings, and I'm using other color pencils and another kind of paper as well. I also wanted to see how these Arteza color pencils perform on color cardstock. And this is 240 grams cardstock, so it's not special, it's just the normal cardstock you will find in a craft shop. And you can see that the color laid down easily and the colors are very creamy and intense. And I also wanted to try this gold metallic color pencil over that white pigment ink. The white ink behaves as a layer of white color pencil. So if you have bold stamps, you can also take advantage on those stamps, stamp on color cardstock, and apply these beautiful color pencils over to easily bring your artwork to life. And I'm not crazy about my coloring in this piece, to be honest, but I really wanted to show you how the pencils looks on dark cardstock and color cardstock. So I was trying to do different things and layering the pencils in different ways. And to be honest, in conclusion, it doesn't matter how you lay these pencils down, they just work beautifully on any cardstock color, any cardstock quality. And that's it, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. or visit my blog for more ideas and inspiration. I'm sure I'm going to be using these pencils a lot more, and they become the top of my list. They are really, really nice. I highly recommend them. And well, do not forget to check the supply list in the video description and the 10% discount code I have for you on the Arteza shops. Thank you very much for watching and happy crafting. Bye!